The first injury report of Week 10, where the Green Bay Packers take on the Philadelphia Eagles. Monday Night Football in Lambeau just came out with important injury updates to players such as Matthew Golden, Colby Wooden, Savion Williams, and more. So let's break down the first injury report here in Week 10. Just came out minutes ago. It's actually 2 hours late, but nonetheless, it is out. So let's dive right down into it. All right, guys, so let's bring the injury report up on the screen today, and we'll see that there's only 2 players on this injury report, although it's a long list, as it is every single week for the Green Bay Packers, it seems. There's only 2 players as they did not participate. Now, obviously, Tucker Kraft isn't on this list because he was sadly placed on IR, but the 2 players we see as did not participate, Nate Hobbs, cornerback, knee injury, did not participate. And also, Savion Williams, wide receiver, foot injury, did not participate. Now, we got the report that Nate Hobbs will be out a minimum of 2 weeks, and we're definitely worried about this cornerback depth moving forward, which is why hopefully they end up signing a free agent cornerback when they had visit today. We'll talk more about that later in this video. Now let's go from top to bottom and go over each player. Aaron Banks did practice today. We saw him leave that game against the Panthers with a stinger injury. Really good to see him limited today. Hasn't been a great season for Aaron Banks, that's for sure, especially the amount of money that we are paying him. But with Sean Ryan filling in last week, that looked really, really bad as well. So Edgerrin Cooper is the second player on this list. Foot injury, limited. He's a new addition to the injury report, I believe. Matthew Golden is also practicing today, which is great to see. He left the Panthers game as well with a shoulder injury, but he was limited today. Josh Jacobs gets a veteran rest day. First time we've seen that all year. Brandon McManus is a full participant with his right quadricep injury. Very interested to see what they do going into this Eagles game at kicker. There's been a lot of talk about how the Packers should just go with Lucas Haversick at this point, with McManus missing crucial kicks. And if you can look at every Packers loss, the one to the Browns, the one to the Panthers, and even the tie to the Cowboys, it can all be chalked up to a missed kick or an issue on special teams at the leg of Brandon McManus. He has not had a good 2025, and obviously being injured doesn't help that either. So we'll see what the Packers end up doing here in Week 10. Micah Parsons is back on the injury report with a pectoral injury. He is limited. Zach Tom, back injury, limited. Quay Walker, calf injury, limited. Christian Watson, knee injury, limited. This is the same ACL recovery thing. It's not that he re-injured a knee or has another knee injury. Dontavian Wicks has also returned to practice. Been a very, very down 2025. We know how much hype Tay Wicks has had over the years, especially from this channel, and really hasn't done much in 2025. Spent all of 2025 training camp out with a calf injury and really hasn't gotten going here this season. We'll see if maybe this is the point where he can start to get a little bit more involved, but with Christian Watson returning and taking up a lot of that target share, it seems unlikely. And then we talked about Savion Williams and then also Colby Wooden, who also checked out of that Panthers game with a shoulder injury. He is limited today as well. So that's great to see Aaron Banks, Matthew Golden, and Colby Wooden, 3 players that got injured in that Panthers game, all not long term. Now, obviously, the unfortunate one being Tucker Kraft. That's out for the year with the ACL injury. The Packers didn't make any moves at tight end. They only promoted Josh Wiley from their practice squad to the active roster. So now it's going to be Musgrave, Fitzpatrick, and Wiley. Well, Musgrave is more of that move tight end, and Fitzpatrick as that inline blocker guy, and Josh Wiley as that third string tight end moving forward. And we'll probably see more 6 offensive lineman packages. We've seen that in years past from this Packers team. I think Anthony Belton is a good candidate to be that 6th offensive lineman if the Packers want to go heavy and establish the run game without sacrificing a tight end or 2 out there that aren't good in the run blocking game, such as Luke Musgrave. So I do foresee that happening moving forward. But yeah, outside of the horrible injury to Tucker Kraft, the Packers aren't that banged up. The Nate Hobbs one, kind of addition by subtraction at this point, but it is a big concern for this cornerback depth. Then quickly to go over the Philadelphia Eagles injury report. They got a lot of good news today as well. Saquon Barkley was a full participant with his groin injury. Jacorian Bennett, pectoral injury, full participation. A.J. Brown, hamstring injury, also full participation. Adoree Jackson, concussion, limited. Cam Jurgens, knee injury, did not participate. Their only did not participate for the first practice here. Willie Lampkin, knee/ankle injury, full. Moro Ojomo, concussion, limited, and Nolan Smith, tricep injury, full participation. So the Philadelphia Eagles seemingly a lot healthier than the Green Bay Packers in terms of the amount of players on their injury report. And also they, of course, traded for Jair Alexander. Doesn't seem to be on the injury report. I saw he's wearing number 18 for them, which is just nasty in my opinion. Maybe he'll end up playing in his return to Lambeau. We'll see how that goes. I think, Adoree Jackson's been very poor for this Eagles defense, and anything is an upgrade over him. But it'll be interesting to see if Jair ends up playing in this game versus the Packers. So as I said earlier, the Packers also had a big-name cornerback in for a visit today. But quickly, before we dive in, I want to go over my sleeper picks for tonight's Thursday night football game, Raiders versus Broncos. Link down in the description. Use code BASS when making a first-time deposit. Get that matched 100% up to $100. Here are my picks for tonight. You can either fade them or tail them or make your own picks overall. I have Bo Nix, a free pick here, more than a half a passing yard. I have Brock Bowers as an anytime touchdown scorer. I have J.K. Dobbins, less than 70.5 rushing yards. And I have R.J. Harvey, more than 17.5 receiving yards. So if you want to get in on the action, make your picks. Sleeper's an awesome app to do so. It's also an awesome app to play fantasy football. I have my own Dynasty on the Sleeper app as well. So definitely go check it out. Click the link down in the description below. All right, so now let's talk about the cornerback that did visit with the Green Bay Packers today, and it's a player that we talked about back in, I believe, March before the start of free agency as a cornerback target for the Packers, and that is Asante Samuel Jr. He has officially met with the Green Bay Packers today on a visit, but he has a lot more visits coming up. He met with the Panthers yesterday. He meets with the Vikings tomorrow, the 49ers on Monday, the Bears on Tuesday, and the Steelers on Wednesday. Now, Asante Samuel didn't leave with a deal, but it seems like he was planning to take all of these meetings anyways. Now, I think the best fit, bias aside, is the Green Bay Packers in terms of being able to go into a defense and start right away. There's also a big connection, and that is Derek Ansley, our passing game coordinator. He was the Los Angeles Chargers defensive back coach from 2021 to 2022, and then their defensive coordinator in 2023. Asante Samuel Jr. came into the league in 2021, where he was his defensive back coach, and his best years in 2022 and 2023, defensive back coach / defensive coordinator in 2023. And I really like the fit. Although Asante Samuel Jr. Did undergo spinal fusion surgery in April, he has been cleared for football activities. So if he gets the go-ahead and clear from Doc McKenzie, then I fully believe the Packers will put an offer on the table for him to come in here and kind of have like a prove-it deal, maybe a one-year deal with some guarantees or some incentives where then he can maybe cash in for 2026. And I think the Green Bay Packers give him the best opportunity to do so. And with Asante Samuel Jr., he's not a perfect cornerback. He has his concerns. He's not great in man coverage. He has a missed tackle issue, but where he does excel is in zone coverage, and the Packers play a lot of multiple zone defenses. And if you look at back in his 2023 and 2022 seasons, his 2022 season was easily his best. He had 5 interceptions, 11 pass breakups, and only allowed a quarterback rating of 81 and allowed a 56% completion percentage. Then in 2023, his last full season, also a good one, 64.7% completion percentage, had 2 interceptions, 11 pass breakups again, and allowed a quarterback rating of 98.0. And also Asante is a pure boundary cornerback, taking over 2,800 snaps on the boundary. That's where the Packers have issues right now in terms of depth. The 2 backup cornerbacks at boundary for the Green Bay Packers are now Bo Melton and Kamal Hadden. Bo has 0 defensive snaps in a regular season game, and I don't know if Kamal Hadden has any either, but obviously has more experience at the cornerback position. But at the end of the day, the Packers are extremely, extremely thin at outside cornerback, and I'm really hoping after all these visits are said and done, obviously this isn't going to happen before the Eagles game on Monday, but Asante ends up signing here in Green Bay to give us that needed help we need at boundary cornerback with Nate Hobbs injured. But even with Nate Hobbs injured, how poorly he has been playing as well. So I'm all for that signing, and hopefully the Packers and Brian Gutekunst can get that done. Let me know in the comments down below, would you be happy with the Packers signing Asante Samuel Jr.? But that does it for today's video, going over all the injury updates, the first injury report here in Week 10. Obviously, we're a day behind. Usually our first injury report is on Wednesday, but it's Thursday this week due to us playing on Monday. So be on the lookout for the final injury report on Saturday, and then, of course, the game on Monday. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys coming by. I'll catch you on the next one, and as always, go Pack Go.